of your window, so you do have natural light access and a sink. And so you're, pretty much the privacy you need to make your work you have. And you just ask in exchange for access to the space that you participate in a monthly open studio program where you just like open up your doors, office hours, and let kids kind of smell what oil paint is like, right? Just see the real artist process unfold. And then work on a few workshops. We'll work with the education department to do some things so the kids can, again, learn about what a committed artist practice is about. And then do workshops with our adjacent preschool. So I think that this would be a more engaging conversation if I turned it into our typical info session with the slides and to kind of break down how we find our artists, what the selection process is all about. And there is a stipend. There's about a $660 a month over the period of 11 months, a little bit under $7,000 stipend over the period. And sometimes we can help with supplies. We give you access to materials for the arts, which most people probably have, but it helps when you have, you're connected to some sort of institution to get in the door. And I'm trying to think, we don't really have the capacity to guarantee that we can bring in studio visits and, we don't do all of that. Studio Museum, sometimes does that unofficially, but we really, just exposure and being in the space also generates a lot of attention. Our past artists in residence have been Derek Forjor. I don't know if you guys know, who's doing really well right now. Had a really great commission at the Whitney, most recently on the Highline Billboard. I'm trying to think who else. Leslie Jimenez, really amazing painter, based in northern Manhattan, Inwood. And then Damian Davis, who's also a really phenomenal a sculptor and relief artist. And then I first started with David Schroed, exactly, also coming from the immediate area. Again, this is going to make a lot more sense when I even have the slides so you can see the space if you've never been to the space. If you've never been, I encourage you to come. We're up to 155th and St. Nicholas.
Well, Lauren, we're gonna hold that until we have our artist circle, which is generally there. Right. And of course, in that time, I'm sure several artists, there's artists in this room, I'm sure, that will be interested in being considered. Now, when is the application process? How does that work?
The application is always due at the end of March or the beginning of April. Off the top of my head, it's not the same date all the time. The applications will open up. We do it online. It's through Submittable, so the process to submit an application opens up usually at the beginning of February. And so you submit your application. It's evaluated through a panel of artists and arts professionals, and then we whittle down our pool of applicants to a series of finalists who do a demonstration with our preschool, because just because someone is a really great painter, a really great sculptor, doesn't mean that they're comfortable working with little people, so we have to evaluate that. And then we figure out who the person will be. So, any questions?
Any questions?
It's a wonderful space.
It is very good. Yes, thank you. And again, we are, yes, sir.
Your space, how many floors? The 2 floors or 3 floors?
The actual museum is 1 floor. There's a lobby, and then the bulk of it, 17,000 square feet, is in the basement. And then above us are 13 floors of mixed income housing, which is owned by the same organization that this building is produced by.
Yes, any other questions? All right, so thank you, Lauren. Mark? We're getting ready to, so those are our 2 major presentations. So now, we're getting down to the nitty gritty of this. There are amazing people in this room. Are you from Grant Housing?
Yes, I am.
Oh, great. You are the
Carlton Davis, Sergeant of Arms.
Okay. So the reason we invited Carlton Davis and
Joron Brice. I'm representing Carlton Davis.
Oh, okay. Is because we are committed to making sure that the children of Grant Housing cross the street. We have many children, but we particularly want to formulate a plan that allows the children to really at least know what wonderful things. Now, you didn't get a chance to hear the introduction, but there are many wonderful people in this room that's going to do exciting things for the Children's Village. You're going to get a chance to hear that in a few minutes. Our job, you and I, look at me, our job is to make sure those children get to literally across the street. Now, all these people in here are going to be providing top class services. You're going to hear that in a minute. Just sit tight, because we want to make sure you're not only Grand Housing, we are also working with Manhattanville. And the idea also is for our children to interact with other developments, so that when they see each other, they're not
isolated. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So all of these wonderful people in here are going to be providing wonderful services, and I am excited to share some of it with you. For those of you who can tell us about your services, are formulating in your mind after you hear what wonderful services we have on tap, we want to hear that too. We have all of our board members hopefully ready to write all of them down. Well, the first thing, Marco and I met last week. We met last week, and we had this wonderful idea that involved the Children's Museum, and he's going to tell you about it.
So once again, I'm Marco Nobles. I'm Marketing and Communications Manager for the Sugar Hill Children's Museum of Art and Storytelling. Some of you, a number of you I know through different iterations in my life, but this actually started through a conversation I had with Barbara Askins about the Harlem Holiday Lights. She saw what we did with the museum out at another event, and what we've been doing throughout the summer to continue to, as Lauren said, we're relatively new, to continue to let the community know who we are and what we do. We go out and do art making activities at different events, festivals, block parties, etc. So as we talked, and I met with Rosebud, we talked about what we could do specifically within the Children's Village. So part one is to create an art making station where kids can come in and they can on site, make things with the theme being the Harlem Renaissance. Maybe we'll have them make, like, whether it is the women wore the necklace, the scarves, and the men with the men with the bow ties. We can create art pieces around those that they can make and wear out, or what they can have. But even more so, again, I'm doing the marketing thing. One of the things is to be able to create a buzz about the event as we move up to it. So what we are going to do with the museum is, for the next 2 Saturdays, we will host, for lack of a better term, art making workshops, where, and this is where certainly we can use, whether it's the young people through LMCC, did I say that right?
Yes.
Or Grand Houses, or Manhattanville, or young people that are in the catchment area of Community Board 9, to make them aware so they can come to the museum, they can create a piece of art that will relate to the event, that will relate to the Harlem Renaissance, but will also relate to one of our exhibitions, which happens to be called Dreams and the Possibilities Of, which is by Frederick J. Brown. It's one of our exhibitions that just went up last week, and it deals with the American dream. It also relates to the Harlem Renaissance when you think about Harlem Renaissance and culture and dreams. And when you talk about the holiday season and what we dream about for the holidays, particularly as young people, and Harlem. So creating a space where they can create pieces of art over the next 2 Saturdays that then can be displayed as decoration or almost as their own exhibition at the Children's Village on the evening of November 20th. What we anticipate that will do will have them become the ambassadors to say to their families, to their friends, hey, I created this piece of art that's going to be shown during the Children's Village at the Harlem Holiday Lights. Come see it. Because the idea is to have as many people, young people, engaged as possible. And we want them to be able to be engaged and come to see what everybody is doing, and it allows, and anybody here, we can look at how we create something that also brings more activity to your facility. I'm gonna go back to MMTC, because again, it's engagement. So we're doing the same thing. You're new, we're new. We're always looking for more engagement. So the idea is to create an engagement over these next 3 weeks that creates a buzz in the community, particularly within Community Board 9, so that more kids are aware, families are aware, and then they can come out on that event and create a nice buzz and a great event. So
Fantastic, wonderful. So that sounds amazing, I'm excited. So that's gonna be culminate starting next Saturday?
Starting this Saturday.
They're starting this Saturday?
Yeah. So we want to do the 9th and the 16th.
And then they will have a large art making station activity at the event.
Yes.
Fantastic, Sugar Hill Museum. The next is Barbara Jones Swing Dance Society. Harlem Swing Dance Society.
We just wanna talk about, what you might think about doing at the village.
Oh, okay. We do a simple.
Can you please?
Well, let me do a little bit of an introduction for Barbara, because our, theme this year is Harlem Renaissance 100. And Barbara, and Harlem Swing Dance actually came out for us last year, and the schedule went so long, they didn't even get to perform. So this year, I was like, for Harlem Renaissance 100, you have to be front and center for this. So we are so excited that you're here, and go ahead. We want to hear all about it.
Well, what we'd like to do is a mini lesson and a demo. So we'd like to get the kids engaged, or the adults also, in a mini lesson and explain a little bit, but mainly have them interact and see how they like the dance and experience it with new music and old music so that they can relate, especially the children.
Will there be any
A performance,
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
Okay.
And then also a mini lesson. So it could all be done within 10, 15 minutes.
Okay. Would the performance be first and then
Yes.
show them the, and then say,
Well,
we're
a
gonna
little
teach you?
demo, then the lesson, and then short
Got it,
performance.
okay.
Fantastic. Pierre?
Okay, so I've already introduced myself. My name is Pierre Voltaire. I'm the founder of Harlem Public Arts Project, and one of the components to what we do is there's a film component to it. And so this year we have partnered up with the National Jazz Museum of Harlem, and the projection project is going to be about all the iconic jazz performers who were very instrumental in being part of the Harlem Renaissance. So in the Children's Village, what we're going to do is we're going to have a projector and be working very closely with the National Jazz Museum of Harlem. And we are going to be featuring a lot of these famous artists who were part of the Harlem Renaissance.
So the children will get, I'm so excited about this, I'm really excited. So the children will get an opportunity on film to see some of the jazz artists of
The yesteryear.
Yesteryear.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and this is-
to see the connection between hip hop and jazz and the whole history of it all, yeah.
amazing. I'm so excited about that, I really am. And it just gets better. We have so many wonderful people in the room. The brother back there, I can't think of you did last year, and could you just stand up? 'Cause what you did last year blew my mind.
Thank you.
But those kids were so blown away from some simple techniques. Can you explain to us again what you're gonna?
Eladia Zekaway from
Yes.
Harlem Chamber.
Yeah, thank you. So I play the violin and also the viola, and for the Children's Village last year, I simply brought my viola and played a little bit of Bach. They were all dances, but I was able to engage the kids in a way that they participated and had a great time. It actually even surprised me how much we all enjoyed it. And so I'm planning repertoire that is specifically from Harlem and about Harlem. And I think just seeing a string instrument up close was particularly enjoyable because I know when I first saw my uncle play, I was about 3 years old, and I remember thinking, how does that work? I need to find out how that works.
Yeah.
So that.
Didn't you take your instrument apart and took the strings?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I had to.
That was so interesting, even for the grown-ups.
I took the bow. I separated the two parts of the bow. So for those of us who might not know, bow is like kind of a bow and arrow made mostly of wood, and then the part that contacts the string that makes the sound is horsehair. But it doesn't look like horsehair because it's straight and it's taut. But if you loosen it up, then it really looks. So I showed that. I demonstrated that for the kids, and that. It always blows everybody's mind. If you haven't actually ever seen that, you would. Yeah. I stole that from my friend Phil, who did it at a family concert once, and I was like, "That's amazing. I think I'm going to steal that."
So horsehair was good for not only weaves but also musical instruments.
That's right.
Yeah.
For all the string instruments, if it has a bow, it's usually it's horsehair.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. We interrupted Pierre though, because
Sorry,
Pierre's
Pierre.
actually
It's all good. I
doing
used to
double
play the
duty.
upright bass.
Oh,
So
okay.
you know.
I totally. can relate.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Pierre is actually doing double duty at the Children's Village.
Yes, so my art organization, we're also going to be working with the kids from Cathedral of St. John the Divine. And we're going to be working on an art project. So initially the art project was going to be working on a mural, but I figured that that's like too involving and it might get too messy. So I'm actually working with Blake currently to get about 100 tote bags where the kids could come in and actually paint on the tote bag. And then that would be a good takeaway. And so we're still in negotiation. We just had our conversation today about it, but I figured that would be a good thing because what happens, as a matter of fact, I have 2 pieces that I work with Boys and Girls Club of Harlem that have been in the State building for about a year now, and I finally got the okay to possibly get them into the UN and by some of the kids in Harlem who worked on them. And so I figured that this is a way for the kids to take something with them as opposed to something that has to be installed someplace where they probably would not get access to it. So,
I just want to interrupt. We have to leave. I don't mean to be disrespectful.
No.
It's really an honor to meet all of you. I would love to see your flyer before if you have it.
There's a newsletter left on the table, and I would. I think I have a card.
I don't know when they're gonna say.
Okay, yeah, you guys just, cause I don't want nobody to make them say my high. Okay, I'm on a high right now. Yeah, so y'all do all that technical stuff outside.
We do want to make sure that, people are able to connect, so they're leaving right now, but you know where to reach. Can you give the phone number?
Yeah, I'll be here, so
Okay, Marcos.
Okay, yeah, so my brother, my sister, you guys, okay, here you choose.
So that's pretty much about it, and then so there's a longer plan here, and the idea is to put an artistic stamp on Harlem, and then so this is a theme, and this is the rollout for the concept of doing projection art throughout Harlem, and to also engage the young people in Harlem, have an understanding of their history. And so part of the plan is to also project iconic African American heroes of the past with famous quotes and
So all of this is gonna be happening inside the section?
Yes.
Okay.
Getting all out.
And it'll start with jazz, but then it'll.
Okay, yeah,
Oh, what's your name?
Naomi.
Okay, highlight. I'll let them know.
So I was trying to understand logistically the night, cause I do love the whole projection idea.
Sure.
So Pierre's gonna have a corner at the venue
We
and
have a
project
screen,
on
we
the
have to
wall?
figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do all
Yeah.
that logistics. We're hearing it all now, and then we're gonna ask needs next.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna ask needs next.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions?
Any questions? Yes.
Do you need pictures of them?
Well, actually, we had the discussion today with the Jazz Museum, and so they have like a huge archive. Right, anywhere, but
you know,
anything, well, so for instance, tonight I had spoken to, because previously I was here last month and I was pitching the same concept, and it just happened that it fell in with everything that we're doing with the Harlem Renaissance. But I did a mock-up of a few buildings down 125th Street, and I had like the Nicholas Brothers. So there is room for anything of that sort, because it all speaks to that same time period.
I'll email you some.
Yeah, no, I mean, more is better. I'm totally open to that, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so if that is not exciting enough, you wanna be next?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Okay, come on.
Alexander, right?
Okay. I'm probably the newest person here. I moved here from Atlanta about 6 years ago. So I'm a playwright. I have a play opening in Houston, 23rd of January. It's gonna run for 4 weeks at the Ensemble Theater in Houston. Some of you may have heard of the Ensemble Theater, very good theater. I'm Calvin Alexander Ramsey, and I had a play I did a few years ago in San Francisco, I think. We had a lady named C. Kelly Wright, I think she's from here, and she was in it. It was about Bricktop, about the lady with the place in Paris, looking bankrupt in that period. But I ran this lady right here Saturday walking up the street.
From the grocery store.
Grocery store, and I was going to a memorial for Randy Weston at the John Henry Clark house, and so I guess I was asking for directions. She had some groceries, and I commented on the groceries, and so and that's how I got here. But I've written 2 children's books, and this one is being made into an opera in Cleveland, the Cleveland Opera Company, as well as the New York Metropolitan Opera here is joining forces to produce Ruth in the Green Book. And as you know, the Green Book started in this area, where over on 936 St. Nicholas Avenue. Victor Green was a mailman, him and his wife, and his wife actually ran the Green Book, the Negro Motorist Green Book, the travel guide. Right, some of you may have seen the movie.
Yes.
But they lived in Harlem, and once they started getting advertising dollars, they got an office at 200 West 33rd Fifth Street, where the IHOP is now, where the Thurgood Marshall Academy is. That's where their office was for almost 30 years. And so, so I wrote a play about this little girl traveling from Chicago to Selma. This book is 10 years old. So, so when the movie came out, the sales of this book went up 233%. Publisher Weekly did a big article on it, how the movie did the sales of the Green Book. And so I do a lot of school visits, but I've been doing a lot of private schools. I've been to Cathedral, St. John Divine Cathedral School. I've been to Billston in the Bronx. I've been to the Riverdale. I've been to the Quaker, and I don't do many public schools. The one reason they don't have a budget, and another reason, I mean, I do a sliding scale for public schools, but they just, it's a little more red tape. So the kids that need to know this history the most are not getting it. They're just not getting it. I'm going back over to, I just got back from Greenwich, Connecticut, a private school, and that's where Jack Robinson kids went. They were the first black kids to go to the school in Greenwich, Connecticut. So I do a lot of schools where the tuition is $40,000 to $50,000 a year. But the public schools, or the kids of Harlem, and I don't have to do it in the schools. It could be, you're talking about this camp, this village, right? Yeah. So I would like to be involved in that in some kind of way. My second book is about Dr. King and voting. G's Bend is a very famous place. Some of you may know about these famous quilters come from G's Bend. And Dr. King went there, and this book was published by Random House. This book was published by Lerner out of Minneapolis. So they're not self-published books. And so, and this is I made this into a gospel play that I'm doing in Roanoke. But this is all about the importance of voting. Dr. King went there, took a break from Selma. He went to G's Bend and got the folks there all excited about voting. They voted, then they got fired from that job being domestics, and they started their own quilting collective. They started making these quilts, and they're still making quilts. And so when Dr. King was killed, he always said he did not want white horses or limousines to pull his casket or his case line. He wanted mules. So the people from G's Bend sent their mules over to Atlanta. So this story is about the women of G's Bend, the quilters, the two mules, Belle and Ada, and the story of the importance of voting. So this is something I'm doing in Roanoke, Virginia. And I did it at a Unitarian school here, church, last year on 80th and East Lexington. So this is something that I do as well in some of the schools.
So is it storytelling, sir?
Yes.
Storytelling, correct. Okay,
Yes.
very good.
Yeah, storytelling, and it's book signing too. So a little bit of all of that. So I'm saying I'm available if you want me to participate in your village. And I'm like I mentioned earlier, I'm a trustee on the Bronx Museum for the Arts.
Okay.
So
Wonderful.
So we have many things to talk about.
Okay, all right.
We're gonna talk about that.
Okay, well, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, so far we got some pretty amazing people. Who's next? Oh, I'm so excited. Dreamers Academy, my new star child. They will be performing.
I
Yes.
just wanted to suggest quickly, I won't take up meeting time, that if you want to talk to me after, I can tell you how to get into the schools through the home. And also,
You see how that works?
my niece wrote an award-winning documentary on the Green Book, Yoruba Richards. And she's also a professor of documentary film for the CUNY system, and y'all definitely need to connect.
That's why you come to community
Community
board
University
meetings.
Culture Committee, this is where the magic happens.
Yeah, it does, it does. That is, thank you, sister, that is amazing. So, I'm so excited. Also, Dreamers Academy, where are my new star projects? Right here, tell us what we're doing on that night.
Well, we'll be bringing our music instructor to play on that evening.
Like what kind of
exhibition.
music?
Well, they'll be playing pan music. He basically has tracks that he played by. It's just going to be one individual. But however, he's amazing, just coming out as a soloist. And just to give an update on where we are now, we just have to coordinate our times and everything so things will work out. We had our first instruments to be delivered today.
Yeah.
But again, for the program. But again, we just have to coordinate the time between the delivery company and the staff that will be at the center to have them brought in and everything. But again, we will be available on November 20th to play. And again, the program so far is right on schedule.
So, for any of you to know, those drums have to be shipped in from where?
These are coming from Arizona.
Okay, so they have to be shipped in these huge containers, and it is quite a process. And I have, they played for the board a couple of months back, and to hear, I'm excited to hear that our children will get to see and experience other kinds of instruments. That's what's exciting about this whole process. We have the violin, where he took that violin apart and just blew their mind. And we have the steel pan, so it's just not ordinary music. You understand? So it's really extraordinary that these artists and organizations are bringing some pretty exciting things for our children. Those are people I know, but there are other people I'm sure in the room that would be joining us that night. Are you here? Can you tell us what you're contributing? Oh, I'm so sorry, my sister Jessica.
Yeah.
Tell us about the dance group.
We have a dance group at MMCC. Camp Team. It's run by Deshaun Matthias, our dance instructor. They've been together for quite some time, since before I got there. They're excellent. They do hip hop dance, and they have from elementary to adult.
And it's just many levels of dance, many styles. The little kids come out with the grown, and they're very talented young people from the community. So.
And it's about 20 of them, right?
Yeah, they have about 15 to 20 kids and adults in their group, and they are amazing. They do competitions all over the tri-state area. They travel very far. He buys all their costumes, and they fundraise for themselves, and they're very dedicated group. They take it very serious.
Do we have any? I was asking about the Vogue team.
We have to speak with our co-locators and see if they're available for that night. But I'm almost certain that we will have a group. I'm almost certain we will have a group there.
Okay. Just so you all know, because we're kind of talking as if everybody knows, and I'm not sure that everybody does. The Dreamers Academy is actually located at Grant Houses, where Jessica is, and they are the recent recipient of a letter of support from the community board for the work that they're doing. It starts what age? What's your age? Age 10. Age 10 and up. So if anybody, if your kids or if you know anybody or any entity or any group or the Girl Scouts or you know what I mean, if you're involved in, or again, even if it's you and your friends want to learn how to play the steel pan drum, this is free, open to the community. They are, people out here. I'm so excited all of you are in this room. I could do a dance. Seriously, there's so much, so many fabulous things going on in this community. For me, it's just like everybody has said so far, engagement. And I think, I can't stress enough that I hope that we can collaborate in whatever ways possible with all of us, 2 or 3 together or whatever, to figure out how we can make sure the most kids for this particular event and for all of our different programming, the most kids can be impacted.
Yeah.
Harriet, if you actually do want to do a dance, we won't judge.
They pay me to dance sometimes.
Okay, and another dance group will be from Manhattanville, Stars in Motion. They are not here tonight. They were part of the last year. They were these young ladies with beautiful little costumes, and they were able to make it onto the float. But they will also be performing that night. Yes, ma'am.
Well, Daira had spoken to me about stand or debate. Do you have to come up front or do you stand?
Because she loves Kay Davis, has a lot to